we have this vision. Bringing vision into reality is the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard so much about manifesting, and I'm like, okay, well, manifesting is fine. You can envision something, but if you manifest being fit, sitting on the couch, it's not going to work. You have to go to the gym.
Yeah.
So the actual follow through is the game, which is why I
Yeah.
love this so much.
Yeah, and this is the interesting thing about the nature of intention, I suppose, is when we do something, there was always an intention behind what we were doing. But not all of our intentions end up panning out, right? There's that saying that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And so
Yeah.
the question then becomes, what's the difference between the intentions that work out and the ones that don't? And more importantly, and the stuff that I'm really interested in is, what does the actual science say about this stuff? What does the actual research say about this stuff? Because I don't know if you read a lot of productivity books. I probably read too many of them. They probably get in the way of me getting things done sometimes. But that happens to be my space. Some people don't want to do the research. And so they write about an idea like intention. Then they just make stuff up. And you think, what? Just go to Google Scholar and type in this idea and it'll come up. All this beautiful stuff will come up. And so intentionality is very much like that, where we all have this notion that we wish to become more intentional in how we act and how we live. But how do we actually get there? And one breakthrough with this in terms of the research process for this book is realizing that intention isn't a nebulous thing. There are many different layers of our life across which we can become more intentional. And we have names for them already, right? So we set goals, right, which are really just an intention. An intention, I should say, is just a plan that will do something. So a goal is an intention. It's a plan. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But we have intentions that are smaller than goals, which we call plans. We have intentions that are smaller than that, which we call our daily intentions. It's often our to-do list, which is really just a place where we store our smallest intentions. But then we have intentions that are broader in our life than even our goals, that exist over a longer time frame than our goals. Our priorities is another one of these layers. And the ultimate intentions that we have in our life are our values. And we were chatting about this on the retreat too, because values, kind of like intention, kind of like manifesting. Nothing wrong with manifesting, but you have to, look at the science behind these ideas in order to manifest the things that you want. I would love it if I could just lie on the couch and eat a large burrito and manifest a six-pack. But values are that kind of ultimate thing that a lot of people talk about and many people write about, where there's a lot of fascinating research behind them, but we don't always practice it. But the values research is fascinating. It turns out there are 10 fundamental human values that we all share in different amounts. And so when you have all these different layers of intention in your life, you can't just set a goal. You need to think about, okay, how does that goal fit with not just my daily actions and intentions, but my plans, my values, my priorities. And it's by considering all these different levels of intention in our life and the science behind them all that we actually follow through on what we start. So it turns out like intention feels like a nebulous idea. Values feel like a nebulous idea. Goals definitely feel like that as well. But there's literature behind all of these areas. It's fascinating and it's tactical too, which is my favorite part.
Let's dig into the 10 human values to get us going, if you don't mind, because you and I talked a lot about that and had a great convo, and I'd love to sort of bring that out.
Yeah.
What are a few of them? Let's help people understand these fundamental human values.
Oh, yes. So I love this idea. So research by Shalom Schwartz. He pioneered this theory of fundamental human values that has been validated cross-culturally, more than 60 countries, hundreds of thousands of participants. So it's not something that some guy made up. It's something
Mm-hmm.
that with real research. And there were originally 10 in his original research papers. Later, and I don't want to get in too nerdy into it, but later cluster analyses showed that there were 12 fundamental values that we all share in different amounts. And so I should just list them, because I think when somebody hears these values, they see themselves in some, and then others, they think, man, that idea is so repulsive to me, and so they don't have those values. And so so here are the 12. The 12 are self-direction, so going our own way. It includes creativity,
Yeah.
productivity too. It's a big one for me. It's my highest value. I know it's high for you too, which we were chatting about. Stimulation is a value, which is sense pleasure, right? And so it's just kind of novel stuff. Hedonism is pleasure. It's another human value, and that has a lot of sultry connotations, I should say, but it's just pleasure. It's just pleasure of the senses. Achievement is a fundamental human value. Achieving things, a big value for us, people who listen to the podcast. Well, it's a bit lower for me, but we could talk about that if you want. Power is another fundamental value. So that's power over not only people, but also over resources. Face is another value. So that is really valuing how we come across to other people, and also avoiding humiliation at the same time. Security. And I should say, by the way, I'm cheating. I have these values in front of me. I don't know these off by heart. Well, I do,
Yeah.
but I'd
And I'm
probably
writing them down.
Okay, good. Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'd probably miss one or two. So face is one, security is one, which actually, so that includes personal and societal security. Research has shown that it's a value that is going up right now. So we're valuing security more over time right now because of conditions as they change around us. Tradition is another value. So the customs, the norms in the groups that we love. Conformity is a fundamental human value. So it's living inside of the expectations that other people have of us. Humility is a fundamental human value. We're both Canadian. Feels like a very Canadian value, I think, on a lot of different levels. So it's recognizing on some levels, our insignificance in the grand scheme of things. Universalism is one, which is protecting the welfare of people and of nature. And the final value, we're at the end of the list here, is benevolence. So it's kindness, it's serving others. And so every single decision we make and don't make is motivated by these values, right? We're always either minding other people or ourselves. We're always trying to improve things or conserve things. And the confluence of those values, it leads to the decisions that we make. It leads to the motivations that we have. And it leads to the actions that we will take. And so in any moment, when we're deciding whether to act or to not act, including towards the intentions that we set, our values are kind of dueling, behind the scenes against one another. So if we value pleasure and we also value, I don't know, self-direction, so we're trying to be fit, but we want to go our own way with a workout plan, we might find that we have this well-crafted workout plan, but that's conflicting with our value of pleasure because we just want to lay on the couch and eat that large burrito that is now firmly planted in my mind, and might be ordered after we chat here today, Greg. But it's interesting that there are a series of essentially trade-offs, but they're what motivate us to do anything and everything that we'll end up doing.